The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
I'm a big fish in a small pond. Got my days free and the nights long. I create my own reality. Who I am is fine with me. As famous as I wanna be. Who I am is fine with me. To I am, to I am. Who I am is fine with me.
Hey everybody, it's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going?
I can't understand you.
No, that's why we're... So listen, tonight is very, 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 very special. Maria, What's the Story with Maria? I'm here live with my friend, my longtime friend, Mario. I won't even say how long we've been friends.
Very long.
He came with his mask. I had my mask. We're taking our
We're
masks
okay.
off.
We're okay.
Nobody freak out.
I was tested the other day.
Everybody's been tested.
She's the one that has to worry.
The whole world is, after he leaves, I'll have to get retested.
Oh, I'm good.
All right,
I was tested Friday and I'm negative.
All right.
How about that?
Well, I think...
I've been tested like 90 times.
But you have to. People like you have to. Because now, so we want to introduce you. This is my friend Mario Cantone.
Hi, everybody.
And I know what everybody's thinking. How'd you get Mario Cantone on the show?
The power of Christ.
The power of Christ. And because we've been friends for a long time.
Yeah, forever.
We went to
Since
high school.
Yeah.
So we went to Stoneham High School.
Stoneham High School. I remember, like, she was a year, like
2
behind,
years.
2 years behind me. That's right.
Yeah.
And I remember after I graduated, they kept saying, "This is girl that was in our school now. And she's in the drama department with us. She's in the theater arts program, and she reminds me so much of you." And I'm like, "Who the f is this girl?"
And I was new. I was a junior, and we had just moved, and everybody was like, "Oh, you remind me of Mario. You remind," and I was like, "Oh, Mario." Like we were big
We were both hearing it
personalities.
on each
Right,
other, yeah.
and we were like, "What? We're used to being big fish,
That's
right?"
right, really. And then,
So we're like, "Who's this guy? Who's this girl?" But then once we met, it was like
that was it.
that was it. We were friends for life.
Friends for life.
So now let's just say hi to some of our friends. Of course, Leo Rodriguez. He's our accidental assistant. Did you know that?
Hello, Leo Rodriguez.
He makes all our promos.
Oh, I love that.
And Leo will post anything that you want him to post as far as links and things like that, of that nature. So Leo, once we start naming things, yes, we will ask you to do that. Leo is a godsend.
Leo, that's awesome. Thank you.
Annette Zito has been on the show many times. She's an amazing chef,
Okay.
and we love Annette. She also has, I'm going to show you later, this great cookbook. She makes all these like pun recipes for the Oscars. You would love it. You would love Annette Zito. She's funny. Edie Gershman, she's my Rodan and Fields rep. You know, I sell skincare, Mario.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Yes, you do.
That's right. Jeffrey Campbell, my friend. Jeffrey, I received remember you said to me, where'd you get that Kamala and Joe Biden?
Oh, yeah, those are cute. I love those.
Jeffrey Campbell and Stephen Albell sent me a Kamala Harris and Joe Biden bobblehead.
Excellent.
So thank you for that. Mandar Chick Magnet. That's our friend Mandar. He comes on every week. Johnny Tamara. You know Johnny.
Johnny.
How?
Johnny.
Did you do a show together?
Johnny Tamara. Johnny, yeah, we did a show called Room of My Own by Charles Messina. It was me and Johnny and Ralph Macchio. It was an off-Broadway show. It was very Italian. It was one of my favorite, probably one of the best, my favorite role I've ever played.
Really?
Yeah,
What was the role like?
It took place in 1979 in a studio apartment in Greenwich Village at 177 Thompson Street. And my sister, Marion, may she rest in peace, lived at 176 Thompson Street. And when I would look out the window of the set, I would see her apartment building because they took a photograph of the
Really?
street. Yeah. But it was about an Italian family. My sister lived there with her 2 kids and her husband, who Johnny played, and I was like the self-righteous, closeted, judgmental, brutal, like angry homosexual that lived upstairs that never talked about the fact that he was gay.
Right.
It was
But it
it
was
was
the
a
70s.
great role. Oh my God, It
Wow.
was just the most incredible role ever.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was a great role, and yet, you know, my sister was like an embezzler and a shoplifter, and they were gambling, and you know, and they had the 2 kids, and they lived in a studio apartment. And I lived upstairs, and my entrance was with a hammer, yelling at the super.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
great.
that sounds
It
wonderful.
was a great
I'm
play.
sorry, and what was it called again?
A Room of My Own.
Yeah, Johnny, when Johnny was on the show, he talked about it. And Ralph Macchio. Speaking of Ralph Macchio, Ralph, I'm sorry.
I just talked to him the other day. Yeah, I
Have
love
you
Ralph.
seen Cobra Kai?
No, but you know what? It's so funny because I remember when he made the deal with YouTube Red, which, no one had YouTube Red. So now that it's on Netflix, everyone's seeing it.
It's
now. But I have
amazing.
not seen it, and I heard
I
it's
do want to say
fantastic.
hello to my cousin Marisa Raskowski. She's coming incognito under her daughters, Isabella.
hello,
But that's
okay.
Marisa. She's a Stone. She's a Spartan.
Spartan forever!
Listen, once a Spartan, always a Spartan.
I love Spartan!
It's in Stoneham High School. We were Spartans.
That was a Spartan.
All right, Rachel Foster. She's in Seattle. You were talking about
Oh,
Seattle.
Rachel, leave Seattle.
Mario's not a fan of
It's a wretched
Seattle. He
place,
did.
I'm
You did a
sorry.
show there, right?
I did.
Look at Jean
I
Simpson
did.
Dunn, our mutual
Gina!
beautiful friend.
Well, she was the reason why we really connected. But I did meet you. No, I met
You met me,
I
but
met
Jean
you
was
close.
really she was the buffer between us.
She was the bumper.
Because she was so
She was the bumper
easygoing.
car.
She was the bumper car, and we were volatile back in the
Well,
day.
yeah.
We were Italians.
It was
we-
turbulent.
It was
But look at us now.
right.
Smooth air.
But Jean,
It's
thank
smoky,
you, Jesus.
but it's smooth.
It's smooth.
Yeah.
So Ike Avelli, you know Ike Avelli, he's a comedian, friend of Poppy's.
Hi, Ike.
Tanya Soto, she was my student in the 90s. Hi, Tanya. Okay, let me see. Jarrell Anthony, he's a sweetheart. He's a great actor. You would love Jarrell. You might know Jarrell. At some point, you might meet Jarrell. You guys run in similar circles. Frank Zahn, okay.
I don't run in circles, Maria. I run in circles in my living room now.
All right, so let's talk about the elephant in the living room, right? We had our goddamn masks
We
on,
did have our
and
masks
mine
on.
says save our stages. You know, Gina,
And mine says, Dr. Goldfinger, please come to the emergency room.
Dr. Fine, Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine.
Oh my God.
So now, obviously, this is a very strange time for comedians because you guys are used to doing the live clubs, concert halls. I mean, you do a lot of other stuff. But what is the biggest difference now for you, work-wise?
Well, I mean, look, when everything shut down, I was a week away from going back to the Carlisle. Because I
Right.
played there a few years ago, and then I played there in October, and then
That's
I
right.
was supposed to play there again in April, and it was Michael McDonald's. It was Betty Buckley who finished in 2 weeks, and then Michael McDonald was coming in. Who I love.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I love him.
Do your quick
Michael.
impression. Come on.
The Carlisle is closed forever. Nobody's coming anymore. The Carlisle is closed forever. People are sad. People are crying every day. Yeah, that's my Michael McDonald.
I love when you do it.
I love. Well, I know him, and I know him because I would just go to his shows and like kind of stalk him, and he's the loveliest man. And
That's what I've heard. I've heard great things.
yeah, he's a
about
good guy. So he was playing 2 weeks, and then it was me for a week because I can't do two, and then it was Wayne Brady, and we all, that was the beginning of the.
it. Wow.
But I love playing that room. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's like
that's
a little. The stage is too small for me, but it's the cachet and the.
So you sing and do comedy.
I
now,
do. Oh
of
yeah, I
course.
do. Well, I always have a piano, but this I have a band. And when I did play for the first time, I added more songs. I'm like, this is a musical.
Now that's the one that, as a matter of fact, Whoopi Goldberg, because you're on The View
Yeah.
quite a bit, and a lot of people know Mario from The View. But I remember watching The View, and Whoopi Goldberg was talking about your
Yeah,
show.
she came on that Wednesday night with Felicia Richard, Nicole Wallace, and a bunch of people. And it was a great night, and she went on the air the next day and just went off.
I
It
was
very,
watching The
very
View
good.
that day. When
And then
did
she just did that for Ralph, for Cobra Kai. She just raved about it on the.
It's so good.
I can't wait
But
to see
Mario-
it. I'm gonna watch it.
You know why?
And I just told Ralph. I said, "Where's your gay cousin, you piece of shit? Let's go."
Hey,
I want to
the
come on
season
it.
is over, so
No, I
now
know.
they'll start.
He's got a third season. He's the loveliest guy.
So you
I adore
could
him.
be the gay cousin.
We'll see. Well, they renewed Better Things, which is a show I did on FX with Pam Adlon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they renewed that for
She's
another
great.
season, so I'm going to go back on that a few times, I think. So,
Wow.
yeah, I enjoy.
But you
that.
also did a spot where you were like in an airport or something. What was that?
Mom, where I was the barista.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. And Anna Faris, who played the daughter, she left.
She did.
Yeah, they just started the new season without her. She just left like 2 weeks ago. It was
Right.
kind of a surprise, and
All
so
right.
they're doing it without her.
Okay.
Look,
Well,
things move on.
listen, I was going to say one thing that you know from working in the business is that Exactly. People decide other things, and then it's not just like everybody goes, okay, I guess we can't do this, walks away. People, recalibrate, figure it out. That's why great writing is
true,
so
and that's really well written. It's such a good show, Mom. And they've got that crew of actresses, Allison Janney and Mimi Kennedy and Jamie Presley and Beth. They'll be
and it
fine.
shuffles around, and then something else pops up.
Well, you know what? I have to tell you something.
What?
Every time I put in a new roll of toilet paper,
Yeah.
I think of you.
You do?
Because
Under
the
Over?
over commercial that you did, you were under, right?
I was under.
Yeah,
Yeah.
under.
You know what's
There's
funny?
a whole debate on whether to have the toilet paper go from behind.
Yeah, that
under,
was a
or
Cottonelle
over.
commercial.
Yeah.
Actually, you can YouTube
I
it.
love that commercial.
I had so much fun
And your
doing it.
pizza commercial when you yell out the window. Eat it,
Fold
fold
it
it like a man.
But you know what I got to tell you, and you'll appreciate this because you're a big improver. Both of those commercials, when I got them, it was all improv stuff. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you very quickly. The Cottonelle commercial, I went to the commercial. I had lost my voice completely. I was on a very sad time. My mom was really sick at the time. And I went to the audition, and I was in the worst mood. And they wanted
That's why you got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They wanted someone a little sassy. They wrote sassy. So it's always when they say sassy, me, two redheads, and a black woman. Like a big black
This was
woman.
the Cottonelle commercial?
Yeah, so it's always the same. When they say sassy, they send me, two redheads, and a really funny big black woman. Okay, so I get there, I can't speak, and the casting agent says, I can't hear you. I can't, I said, and I'm going, I can't hear you. And finally I said, I'm doing the best I can. I totally snapped. And he said to me, okay, fine, you're done. Thank you. And I walked out, called my agent right away. I said, oh my God, he's going to kill me. I've never done this, but I lost my temper with a casting person. And she said, because she knew what I was going through, she said, don't worry, honey, you've never done that. Just go home. It's Thanksgiving. It's around the corner.
This is the best Faye Dunaway story I've ever heard.
That's the truth. Oh my God, I know. Because she was always
She was always snapping out.
But I had never done it.
No.
Anyway, I get a call back. She goes, I don't know what you said to, I won't name his name. I don't know what you said to blankety blank, but he said, send me Maria Gentili. What a bitch. They went in a completely different direction, and they actually wanted someone that would emasculate. So they picked this tiny little man, and they just had me yelling at him.
See what happened?
And that was the whole improv, so it was meant to be.
It's amazing that there's so much stuff that I get that it's always improv, but I never, and I'm an improver, but when I get a script, I never assume years ago that I can improv. I mean, look.
But that's your whole thing,
I know,
I
but
think.
I always respect the writer, even
Yes,
if they
of course,
suck.
of course.
It's like when I did.
But haven't you ever gotten like an audition where they were just like, do your
They
thing,
did,
Mario?
yeah. Well, I remember years ago when I did Quiz Show, the movie that Robert Redford directed. I went in for Bonnie Timmerman, and it was a long time ago. I looked like Desi Arnaz in it. It was like the 50s. It was great. And it was just one scene with Ray Fiennes that I had where I kind of attacked him in a phone booth and chased him down the street as a crazy kind of fan. And so I auditioned for the role, but it was a cab driver. And Bonnie just said, do your thing. And I just kind of improv and did some stuff. And then, film stayed forever. So 2 months later, I got a call me like, they cut out the cab driver, but they want you to play this crazy fan in a phone booth. And I'm like, all right. I had 2 lines.
Right.
So that was it. I'm like, okay, I got 2 lines. This was like 1991, 92. I went in there, and Robert Redford was there. I literally was like, I can't believe I'm standing here. I mean, literally, he had his arm around me one time, and if there was a bubble over my head...
Is he as good looking in your life?
He's very handsome. He was older than, but literally, he was like this, because the camera was way down the street, and they kind of just zoomed in, so we walked back and forth to the where the monitor was, and he just says, so I did it once, and I just did a couple of the 2 lines. He said, no, say whatever you want. I was like, all right, you sure? He's like, yeah. And I just went off, and that whole scene was improvised. And,
Really?
yeah, and he had his arm around me, walking down the street. I'm serious. If there was a bubble over my head, it would have just said, I used to masturbate to pictures of this guy.
You know what? That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I
loved
want to
him.
go back and watch.
He was so gorgeous.
He was so beautiful.
Oh my God, he was like he was Brad Pitt.
And he was the Brad Pitt of that time.
But sorry, I have no filter. But tough shit.
Listen.
COVID, people are dying. Fuck you. We're just saying what we want.
Say it loud, say it proud, say it now. It's COVID. That's it.
That's right.
So, did you tell that to
Robert Redford?
Did you
Of
tell?
course I didn't.
No. But there was that
But
bubble. But he's probably watching the show tonight.
But I do.
Now he knows.
He was too big to flirt with. I flirt with a lot of them, though.
I bet you do.
Michael
Well,
Strahan.
look at what
Michael
you-
Strahan,
Oh my
I flirt
God.
with him brutally, right on camera.
Okay, so talk about Michael Strahan.
I
what you just did.
I just did Pyramid. It was the first thing I did in the studio at ABC. Did my COVID test, and it was just me and the contestant and the other celebrity and the contestant, and no studio audience, but a lot of the staff were in the audience.
Okay,
they were
good.
great. But Michael, I love him. It's like I've done that. I've done it like what? I've done like 5 of them.
You're really good
Yeah,
at
no,
it,
I
too.
love that show because I
Well,
zen
you're
in there.
fast anyway. You're fast on your feet. That's your thing.
It's
I
a-
would put you into the fast on your feet category.
It's fun. It's fun. I did 2 episodes this season because they weren't flying anybody from California because they couldn't, so they gave me an extra one. Which was really nice. It was so fun, and he's a lovely. I love him. to
I
death. He's
love
a good
him.
man.
I
Oh,
think he's adorable.
I love him, and you know, if you've ever seen Magic Mike 2,
I didn't see
okay,
Magic
he
Mike
does
1.
a scene where he just. But he does a scene where he strips in it in this underground club, this like exclusive, and I've seen those beautiful black male strippers that do these things in uptown and Bronx, and they're kind of underground. The women go crazy.
Crazy, yeah.
They go crazy. They flip them over, and you know it's hilarious. There used to be a show on cable called.
Have you ever been flipped over?
No. Well, this and these are all for women too, and
Right.
like and like urban women, like how they're hilarious and screaming. They're
Right,
like
right.
it's like they would, look, you know how black folk are at church. And
Yeah.
in our church, you know, the Catholics are all like, ooh, they're
Yeah,
like
right.
screaming. It's like that in the strip club for
In the
them.
strip-
It's much passion.
I
So
love it.
Michael did that a dance just like one of those. It was
He's so
it was
sexy.
brilliant,
He's
and
so
it was
sexy.
dark. It was like seedy and beautiful. So one of the guys was the contestant was saying, he was one of his things was he collected bobbleheads. It's not the contestant. It was saying what bobbleheads. There you are. And sports was. He said he didn't have one of Michael because he doesn't play football anymore. So I went, I have one of you, Michael, and it's from Magic Mike 2.
No.
And it's right at my bedstand, and every morning I just wake up, swap that head with my fingers, and I watch it bob.
You said that.
I did.
Did he laugh?
Yes, he did. Oh, he's still with
So
me.
cute.
He's great. I think, and you know.
So how many times have you done it with him
With-
as the
I
host?
did season 1, season 3, season
He's
4,
really
and I
good
did
at all
2
this stuff,
season
isn't
5.
he?
So I did five times.
He's like a natural.
And the first time I did it, I remember Robin Roberts was the other celebrity. She's a lovely lady too.
Yeah, she
and
really is.
she said to me about it. She said, "You see him. What you see is what you get."
Yeah.
And she goes, and all his people that are around him. And then one time, it was I think the 2nd season or 3rd season when I did it. They said, "Michael wants you to stay afterwards," and I was like, "All right, what does he want?" So
What does he want with
I was
me?
like, what does he want? He wants me to stay. So I go. He takes me in this room, but he's close talking with Michael Strahan.
Oh, cool.
So what he does is we're in this little room and he's interviewing me and about my life and my career. But it was a great interview too. He was really good at it.
Can we
And
find it in
I
here?
think so. It's Close Talking with Michael Strahan. It's on this.
Okay, we'll have to close talk with Michael Strahan.
So then what he does is he starts eating garlic and eggs and all onions that'll make his breath be terrible. And then he takes your face and he puts it right up against his.
No.
And then he takes a card with a word on it that's behind my head, and he mouths the word,
No.
and I have to guess what the word
And
is
try
with
not to
his
faint.
bad breath. But by the way,
He doesn't
unless
have
he
that.
ate vomit, I was like, I'll kiss you anyway because you're and I'm Italian.
Did you almost?
I
make out with him?
was like, I told him, I
wanted
said,
to, right?
I said, this is not affecting me. I said, I'm not smelling the onion. I'm Italian, so the garlic,
Yeah,
I don't even,
right,
I don't
right.
care.
Well,
Eggs, I love eggs. I don't give a shit. You don't smell bad, and you're too close to me.
And he's sexy.
And I would climb him. So,
Listen,
the first word was this. He went, and he took that little lisp. And I was like,
Oh
what?
my
And I went,
God.
breath mint? I'm like, breathing? He's like, he was president. President. But he was like, president, because he got this little lisp. So, and the tongue went there, and I was like, what the?
right.
And
But he's so cute.
oh, he's adorable. He's a
Now,
good guy.
but the other Can we talk about Match Game?
Yeah, I love Match Game.
Judy and I were in an airport a couple years ago. I think we were going to Italy, and we were these big screens there. And who's on the screen? It's Match Game, and we were like, oh my god, look at Mario. And anyway, but people really, really see you quite a bit on Match Game.
Yeah, I do that.
So
a lot.
let's talk about that.
Because I'm like they've got their crew.
Yeah.
Like Caroline Ray's semi-regular. I'm a semi-regular. There's people, and it's
like
just,
they used to have back in the
yeah,
day.
exactly. But even though no one's on every episode, though.
No.
Like Charles Nelson Riley was on every episode.
Oh,
Brett
was he?
Summers
I was going
was
to say
on
those
every
two. I
episode. It's
remember
different.
more.
But Alec Ball was a great friend.
He's
and I
very
just
handsome.
loved him to death. He's so handsome, and I just love. He had another kid. He just had another kid, fifth one. I was like, okay, Daddy. I said, you know, it still works, baby.
Wow.
5 kids.
How
I said,
old
2
is he?
more. You're gonna have the Von Trapp family singers.
Wow. I can't believe
Yeah.
you had another
Yeah,
kid.
another kid. Yeah. Well,
Well, I guess when you're a guy, it doesn't matter.
Well, no, and his wife is young and
Hey,
beautiful.
Tony Randall. Remember Tony Randall?
Yes.
He was like 70-something.
Oh.
I always thought he was gay.
No, and you know what? I was.
That was a shock.
Yeah, Jerry Paris, who was one of the creators of the Dick Van Dyke Show, one of the writers. I went to school with his daughter Julie, and he came to Emerson. He talked about Tony Randall and how everybody. It was a story about how they hooked him up with some girl, and everyone thought he was gay. He was so not.
Right.
No, he wasn't
Wow.
gay. I met him a few times too. I auditioned for him.
Really?
For the revival of the Sunshine Boys with him and Jack Klugman, and I had like 5 fucking auditions, and then I didn't get it. Adam Arkin got it. Alan Arkin's son got it. I remember that. Well,
You know what? We won't say his name.
no,
We're
it's
not gonna say
okay.
his name?
What are you gonna do?
So Match Game, same thing. In New York, or is that
In New
LA?
York, they're here.
Okay.
I did one game show recently in LA in October or November. I did To Tell the Truth, which just aired a little while ago. That was really fun too.
That's
That was
like a revival, though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that was fun. But that's now it's like Pyramids here, ABC match games here. It's that whole game show thing they do. They revive them all.
Personally, I love game shows.
Me too.
I mean, I'm not even ashamed to say it.
Oh, I love it.
I love game shows, and there's a game show network. Judy and I watch it all the time.
And it's classic. You know what it is? When you're doing match game, you're dealing with a bunch of A-listers, which you feel good about.
Right.
Or Pyramid, or to tell the truth, it was me, Raven Simone, Dion Cole was a brilliant comedian, and Rita Moreno. It was like
Oh my
amazing.
God.
And I did an interview with Rita Moreno.
Your
that's
sister
on the
Marion
website.
always remembers.
Me too.
reminded me
Oh
of
boy,
Rita
let me tell you
Moreno.
something. There was a few moments where she really reminded me of Marion.
Wow.
She looked like her, and I told her that. She was amazing. She was
Yeah, no,
lovely.
Marion was an incredible person, and Rita Moreno has that same dignity
Yep.
and that same
And
grace about her.
and
that-
she's small, and the hair, and
Yeah.
it's just like her. And and they can be smiling 1 minute and snapping out at you.
All
the
right,
next.
let's check. I do want to talk about. We're going to go back and talk about Chris Cuomo. Hold on.
Oh my God.
Yeah, your boyfriend. But first, let's see, because sometimes people might have questions, and I don't want to miss
Someone
anybody.
said Mama's great. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Under-
Under commercial. Over.
Right, under over. Yeah, go and just YouTube
Oh,
that.
any word on AJ and the Queen? Oh, you want to hear about AJ and the Queen?
Well, I got to tell you something. I did not expect. First of all, I loved AJ and the Queen, and I'm going to say this, and people are going to hate me for it. I've never been a huge fan of drag. It's not my thing. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it too.
I always say, you listen, that's a lot of effort. But when I watched AJ and the Queen, I loved it. I thought everyone did a great job.
Yeah, and that was Michael Patrick King who did Sex and the City. That's why I did
Right.
it.
But it's
And
so,
I know
it was
RuPaul,
so
but
good.
I think-
Michael Woolley.
Yeah,
Michael
was
Leon
wonderful.
Woolley.
He was wonderful.
I mean, but I did not expect to see you. And when
Neither did I.
did see you, I couldn't breathe.
Well,
I was
let me
laughing
just
so
tell you
hard.
something. You know me. For me,
It was
I mean,
beyond
I appreciate
the
drag, and when
No,
they're
right.
artists and they're doing their thing and they have their own voice.
Yes,
and
yeah.
I like the old school stuff too. I like Craig Russell and Jim Bailey, and I love those guys. But like, I love Miss Coco, and I love
Miss
Rue.
Coco is
Brilliant.
my favorite,
Me
yeah.
too. She's my favorite.
Yeah.
I
She's
mean, that
brilliant.
voice,
But that's what I
her
mean.
voice, like what she says, how she's
Right.
brilliant. So, Michael called me up, Michael Patrick King. He said, "Look, there's a part in the second episode where they want you to. I want you to do. You're the only one that can do this because I love the way you do Tina Turner." Oh, like, all right, what's the role? And he said, you're his nemesis. You've had a big fight, and there's a Tina Turner off on stage, and so I was like, all right. Now when I do my stand-up, I don't use props. I don't use drag, and I do plenty of impressions of women.
Yes.
I just do them.
Yeah.
I just do them. I can't. I don't like props. I don't like extra things. So to me, there's nothing wrong with props and there's nothing wrong with drag, but that's all the same thing to me. I don't want it on me.
Okay.
Because I learned that from, I learned so much from Craig Russell, who's one of the great female impersonators, but he did drag. He was genius. He did 60 women in one show.
Wow.
And I ran his spotlight in Emerson. I mean, when I was in Emerson, in Provincetown, when was it, 1979.
Wow.
He had just done the movie Outrageous. I was a big fan of his. He was very nice, and he was genius. He died in 1990. I learned so much from him about doing Judy Garland and Carol Channing and all the women he did. But I would look at Lily Tomlin and be like, well, she did a guy on stage, not on her special, but on stage, she just did it in a shirt and pants.
Right.
So I was like, I want to do that, but I want to do it like that.
Right.
So those influences.
Well, you become what you're doing.
That's
become the person.
You feel like you look like you're inside.
Yes,
you
I
think,
agree
well,
with
everyone
you.
else is.
I agree
that's
with
how
you.
it feels.
Yeah.
But so I said to Michael, so you want me to do a Tina Turner thing? Yeah. He said. So the irony of it was, I do Tina Turner out of drag and I sing just like her.
Right.
I do her.
Right.
But I had to do it the exact opposite. I had to do it in drag and I had to lip sync.
I've never seen
I was like,
drag. That's why it blew my
and
mind.
then there were shots of me that I looked so fucking ugly and horrified.
No, you
I was not
hysterical.
I was not happy.
And you know what you look like to me?
I don't like.
You look like some Italian girl from Staten
I
Island.
look horrifying.
Or, I'm telling you, or Bensonhurst, or Revere.
It was
You
like
look those
Amy
girls.
Winehouse hairdo with like so Italian.
And I loved
looked
AJ and the Queen. It completely made me appreciate drag. Even I've always appreciated it. I've never been a huge fan. Like, I don't know who all the girls are.
You see
but
the artistry of how they create what they
do you know
look
who
like?
Lauren Order is? Lauren Order?
No.
She's a friend of mine. She's my favorite.
Lauren Order?
That's which it goes. It looks like Lauren Order, but it's Lauren Order. But she makes all her own costumes and she sings amazing. She actually was operatically trained.
Well, there's a handful of drag queens that have their own, that actually sing.
Yeah,
too.
and that's why I love it.
And I love that too. But Craig Russell used to do all these women and do them with their voice.
Who is this?
Oh, that's me and Ralph.
You and Ralph
from this show. That was the review of the show. Probably.
So let's go back and let's say, so AJ and the Queen, you've answered that question.
It was. I'm glad I did it. But
you've never done drag before.
I don't like. And then the breastplate I had on with the cleavage that I wore all day goes over your. I took it off. I had welts and blisters all over me because I suffocated my skin for like 8 hours.
All right. So
and I went to Warner Brothers Medics. I went into the medic.
Are you one of those people? Are you like help me right now?
No, I was like, give me some. But I put some stuff on it. It was gone the next day.
Yeah, so drags that would never be your thing. But you don't. That's not you.
No, I can't.
But like I said, I appreciate it. I've never been like a giant fan of it. It's just not my thing.
And
but
he
when
was
they
lovely.
sing live, I'm very impressed.
I am too.
That's why I love Lauren Order. So if you're listening, Lauren,
look up Craig Russell.
Oh.
He's dead now, but look him up. But but Rue was lovely to work with, and it's amazing what he does, and the history of him crossing over to mainstream is amazing. Which also Craig Russell did too, and Jim Bailey did too. But they were doing it.
But what was that? It was a documentary with Craig Russell. You'll know it. What was it called? It was a
movie. Outrageous.
A movie. Outrageous.
Yeah,
thank
Outrageous.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Match Game is my jam. Says Frank Zahn.
Hi, Franklin.
You would love Frank. He's John Bronson's husband, and he's super nice. Everybody loves Rita Moreno.
Yeah, I love Rita Moreno.
Leo Rodriguez actually did a very funny show. He wrote it and I directed it. Leo, can you type in the name of the show again very quickly?
Because
it was about because it's got a funny clip to it. But it was about he's adopted, and it was about his fantasy has had as a young Latin boy that his real mother was either Rita Moreno or Chita Rivera, and the whole show is based on that. It's very funny. All right, so let me see if there's any more questions. I personally want you to talk. Oh, Coco Peru, we all love Coco. I love Miss Coco. I saw her in 1990.
Yeah, I think I saw her.
It blew
like down on the West Bank.
I saw her at 88.
I saw her like
it blew my mind.
She was amazing.
She was
brilliant.
So great.
Yeah, brilliant.
All right, hi Tom Chu. Tom Chu is a great guy. He actually is a great lawyer. He did my living will.
I need one.
Listen,
I need a will.
No, you don't understand.
Well, I need a will. Because, you know.
He did mine.
Let's do it. I need a will because
I'm going to give you his
let's
number.
go.
So I'm going to give
Hurry
Mario
up.
your number.
Do Jerry and I's will. My husband's will and my will. Come on.
He's amazing.
I got 1 foot on the grave and like 1 foot on a
Listen, people like you live forever.
Oh,
live
yeah.
Forever. You
Fame!
live for, yeah.
I will live
How many
forever!
times did we see that when we were young?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
See, back then there were no videos. We used to have to go to the movies.
I used to do my horrible impression of Irene Cara.
But you used to talk all through the movies. Remember
No,
that?
I did. I really?
Yeah, you
Oh,
took.
that's terrible.
Yeah, but you know what else? Didn't we go to see The Wiz together?
Oh, that was horrible. You know,
Yes.
we saw that in Boston.
Yeah, we went to see the movie The Wiz, which
Yeah,
was
the
awful.
movie. Yeah, the show was amazing.
The show was in, and we went to see Stephanie Mills together at the Berkeley Performance Center.
How about, we said to see a few things.
We saw a few
I saw
things.
Phyllis Hyman there. I saw Luther Vandross there.
Phyllis Hyman.
Oh, she was magnificent.
Yeah, we were
I'm
at
going
the
to
high
tell you what I
school
did.
together.
When I was 16 years old, Phyllis Hyman was playing the Jazz Workshop, which was right next to, which was on Tremont Street, I think, or Boylston Street. Jazz Workshop, and the other club was right next to it. They were owned by the same person. What was the other? The Jazz Workshop, and I forget the other name. But anyway, Phyllis Hyman was playing there, and me and Nancy Pizzani went there. We were 16. They put us in the front table. I guess they served food, so we were
Well,
allowed.
if you were
and
16,
we
she
saw
was
her.
14 because she was in my.
That's right.
She was in my group
Yeah,
of friends.
I think was it Nancy or Diane? I'm
What's
not
up?
sure.
Maybe it was her sister
Might have been
Diane. She's
Pizzani.
your age.
But I think it was
It
Nancy.
might
yeah,
have been
with
Nancy
money?
because Nancy was the singer, not Diane. Wow,
Yeah.
this is crazy. All right, before I forget, because you and I will just keep talking and talking. Let's talk about Chris Cuomo. I love him, and I love when you make him laugh because he turns bright red.
He's a
great guy,
another
right?
bromance. Another bromance that I have.
Do you know Andrew too?
I do know Andrew. I knew Andrew. I remember when Andrew was running for Attorney General. He called me up. I remember where I was. I was in DVD entertainment, which was on 14th Street. I was always buying DVDs.
Yeah,
And go to the gym.
Okay, still down.
Oh yeah, I do too. I go to the gym and then go to the DVD place. And he called me as I was looking at the DVDs, and he said, "Listen, I'm running for Attorney General. Can I have your support? And can I use you?" I was like, "You can have whatever you want." Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love him to death.
Me too.
And-
I always voted for him, no matter what.
No
he
matter,
ran for.
he's amazing. And I love Chris. And then I got to know Chris, and I was like,
He's beautiful.
he kissed me on the mouth, on the view. I'll never forget. I sang something one day. And it was one of my Christmas performances, and he grabbed me by the face. But I love him to death. He's
such a
he's a
good
good
guy,
man.
right?
And, yeah, and he went through it, with COVID, and he's still going through
Well,
it.
and you can. That's why you
He
can tell
talks
that he
about
gets
it.
so angry.
Oh boy.
He gets
Don't
so.
blame him.
You see, because it's personal. Jamie McGonigal is here. I don't know if you know Jamie. Jamie's extremely talented singer, but now
Both of your Boston accents are coming out right now.
Oh yeah,
They
because
are.
you know what?
That's what happens.
That's what happens because we're Spartans for life.
Spartans forever.
Stoneham Spartans.
Yeah,
I'm
number
gonna-
11, Stephen Jameson.
Listen, I'm going to share this on the Stoneham Friends of Stoneham page.
As they
after this.
should, you should.
All right, so now and The View. How did you get started doing The View? Was it that
View?
they saw you doing
No,
comedy
that was
and
Joy
then-
Behar,
Who was your buddy?
who was my buddy, and she always came and got me. I was always on.
She's
When she did her
fantastic.
show on Lifetime, it was called Way Off Broadway. I was her co-host for a while, and I guested on that. But she got the show, and they were doing Joy's Comedy Corner, and it was just her and a comedian. And I would go on, and I went on a few times doing her Comedy Corner, and she sets up the jokes, and I do them. And then one day, it happened to be coincidentally after the Golden Globes, and I just went off about the Golden Globes, and they were like, "You got to do this every award show." So
Wow.
it became that first. So I would go. And it was horrifying. We would watch them. Me and my producer, it was Matt Strauss.
Did you write them
and
right
we wrote
after
them that. Me and Matt would pick out the clips that night, write it out that night. The next day we'd go in and rehearse it for Bill Getty, who was my biggest champion, and he just, and then we do them. And the Grammys, the daytime Emmys were my favorite because nobody knew who anybody was, so it was just
Right.
ridiculous. Barbara loved when I did that. So they became, one time we did a live Oscar show after the Oscars.
Oh,
So
really?
we had to watch the Oscars that night, write them, and then do them like a half hour later. And it went incredibly well.
Yeah, but that's your specialty.
Oh, it's
your
terrifying.
specialty.
It's
I know, but
terrifying.
Mario, you don't make it look so easy.
Well-
I know because I've known you so long, and I remember I still
You don't know what's
remember,
going on in my head. It's so hard.
But I love that. Yeah, I don't know what you're
Oh,
feeling, but
yeah.
I know what because I remember going to see you when you were at Emerson College, and you would do all those great sketch shows.
The Emerson Comedy Workshop.
Oh,
It was like the
so
biggest thing
good.
on campus. It was Dennis Leary,
Yep.
Eddie Brill, Allison Weber, Lauren Dombrowski, who, may she rest in peace, she was the executive producer of Mad TV for years. She was my comedy partner. Before I started doing solo stand-up, I used to do
I
sketch
didn't
stuff with
realize
her.
that she
Yeah,
had passed
yeah, she
away.
passed away of cancer. She was misdiagnosed. Yeah.
Wow. But I was like a big comedy fan, and I used to go to all those clubs afterwards. So I would come to see you at Emerson, and then maybe a bunch of us, Gene, a
Yes,
bunch of
oh,
us,
yeah.
we would all go
Yeah.
to the comedy clubs. It was an amazing time.
It
The
was an
late-
amazing time.
The 80s was an amazing time for comedians, and all the greatest comedians were there in Boston.
And then
That
when I
was-
played Provincetown,
yeah.
like one of the first of 2 times only, I just did it maybe like 6 years ago for the second time, was when I was 19 and you came up and
Me
saw
and
me.
Gene.
You and Gene came up, and that's when, like, that season was like Divine was doing the Neon Woman, Craig Russell was there, Maxine Andrews.
Divine was in.
She was doing.
She was in the lobby,
Yeah.
and I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
know who Divine was. And
I
you-
kind of didn't either at the
But
time. I
you
was
actually
19.
told me. You said, you see that guy with the, because he had like a little cap, like a wig cap on.
Yeah.
He was just a chubby, very shy, super guy.
Yeah.
It's like, wait till you see him afterwards when he's in the show.
No, he was.
I didn't know
brilliant.
anything about it, and
He
then I was like,
brilliant.
what the hell?
And I hadn't seen his movies yet. Really. I knew who he was.
no,
but
I had not seen his
No,
movies,
but-
but live,
but-
Divine was
He was amazing.
amazing.
And then Craig, I ran his spotlight every night, and
I
he
don't think
was.
I got to see
he
Craig.
was genius.
My cousin Cora Gauthier from Woburn is here. Let's say hi to Cora.
Hi, Cora.
She's
How are you?
fantastic. You would love her. My friend Catherine
Hi,
Salvio
Cora.
just
Cora.
popped on.
Cora, what kind of coffee is this? It's Maxwell House. Remember Cora?
Yes, of course.
That was Margaret Hamilton. From
It
Wizard
was
of Oz.
Margaret.
She was
Erin
Cora, the
Cherry.
Maxwell
Do you
House
know Erin Cherry? She actually won an Emmy last year.
Erin!
Erin, type in what the name of the show was
You could
again. I
s-
just can't remember.
I'm waiting for someone to do
It was
a Lifetime TV movie called The Emmy Award Murders, because you could kill somebody with those wings.
Yeah, you can.
You could just
Erin,
stab
type
them
in the show
and
that you got
pale.
that you won the Emmy for. So anyway, Erin's great. So
Oh, Jamie said I used to hang out at Jim Caruso's cast party with him. Yeah, yeah, at the
Jamie
Summer Club.
is amazing.
I remember
He
that.
And his husband now live in Washington D.C. They're Jamie
like
is
this.
an amazing singer, but they have this beautiful little boy named Malcolm
Oh.
that they adopted a few years
Nice.
ago, and he's fantastic. They're fantastic people, Sean and Jamie. So, but I bet you know him. He's an amazing singer. He did a lot of benefits with Equity. Robert Portis, Mario, and Maria.
I'm
Yes,
such
Lynn
a-
Portis. You know Lynn Portis, my musical director.
Yes, of course. Hi,
She's the
Lynn.
greatest. She is amazing, and she just wrote a bunch of stuff. I can't give it away, but she wrote a bunch of amazing stuff, and we're all going to hear about it soon. Okay, so now
All right.
let's talk about the cameos.
Oh yeah. Well, that's been my income,
okay.
except
so
for Pyramid.
so,
Thank God for that.
but you can't do comedy shows because
No.
comedy clubs aren't open
No,
yet.
and there are
Can't do-
comedians doing like drive-ins and stuff. I almost did something in the Hamptons this past summer for like it was gonna be a drive-in movie thing, but then it never came through. And you know what? You know me. I'm like, if you're not paying me, I'm staying home. I'm telling you.
All right, so
I'm
it's
like
okay.
that. I don't care.
You know, it's
and
okay
I love
that-
doing it, but
listen,
it's like
when
I'm
you're-
90.
When
And nothing's going on.
When you're in your 20s and
You know.
people offer you things, it's different. But as you get older, you can pick and choose your stuff. And there's
But I'm a
nothing-
beggar.
There's no shame
I'm
in
a
that.
beggar that's choosy. Believe me.
All
You know,
right.
it's a terrible way to be.
Well, it's okay. Listen, you are who you are.
I am what I am.
Hey, you know what?
And what I. What?
You know what's coming up now?
What is?
And we have to do it.
What are we gonna do?
The part of the show called Go Ahead, Keep Eating. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the
We
part of the
already
show. We already ate.
It was delicious.
Well, because Mario got here early because Judy picked him up and there was no traffic, and so he got here early and Judy was here. I was like, why don't we just eat now?
Judy picked me up in this gorgeous BMW.
Well, Judy
I
likes
felt like
luxury.
Beyonce.
You know what? When you walked in, I thought, is that no, it's Mario.
No, it's Mario.
I thought it was Beyonce for me. Okay, so let's do the part of our show. And what's it called? Get ahead!
Keep eating! I saw the cue card.
So-
Go ahead!
Keep eating!
Keep eating!
So this is what I made for
Oh,
Mario
that
because
was so
Mario
good.
loves seafood, as do I. We're New England people. We're New England Italians, East Coast Italians. We love.
But not everybody loves a squinting pasta, and I do.
No. So Mario, why don't you tell everybody what I made?
This
tonight?
is a lovely squinting pasta made with the shrimp and bay scallops, and we call it a fradiano. which is lovely. I love Fra Diavolo.
And what does Fra Diavolo
Well,
mean?
it means the mouth of the dragon, or something
The
like
devil,
that.
the
The
devil.
devil. Well, the
Okay.
dragon is the devil.
Because it's spicy.
It is spicy. The mouth of the dragon, or the
right,
devil.
so I'll
Yes,
just tell you
I
what-
like the dragon because I think it's a little more current. Because all the children are very obsessed with Game of Thrones and the
That's
Harry of the Potter and all that.
That's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So actually, a dragon could have breathed on this because it's spicy.
Because it's spicy and delicious, and the squiddy makes it black, which is very
So
important.
it's squid pasta with
Yes.
a Fra Diavolo sauce,
Yes.
which has oregano, crushed red
That's
peppers,
right.
garlic, shallots. This is my recipe. Shallots, white wine,
What else?
crushed red tomatoes.
Oh, and I'm really sick of people not being very afraid of black pasta, squiddy pasta.
Squid pasta.
Black pasta matters, and don't you
It
forget
certainly
it.
does.
It does.
And here it is. And I made it special for Mario. And
Yeah,
there's
it's
some
delicious. I
parsley on it.
love it.
All
What
right.
else do you have?
Now, I made a delicious
Oh,
salad.
that
You know, I
salad
love my
was
salad.
magnificent.
Boston lettuce, because we're from Massachusetts.
Boston lettuce. Well, I did my show from WGBH-TV in Boston. It was actually in Cambridge for years.
You did, and
Mhm.
that's true.
It's very true. I know
Red
that.
radishes,
Red radish is a
dill,
Dill is wonderful.
Persian cucumbers.
Persian cucumbers. You know, yes, they do. They come with a little burqa.
They do. Actually, I did have to take off that
And
first.
they have little
outfits.
beads all over them. They're
Little
beautiful.
outfits.
They're very,
Dancing, they were dancing
Oh,
around.
they were dancing around. They were lovely.
And there's honey crisp apples
I love a Honey Crisp apple.
with aceto di Modena, which is like a delicious balsamic from Italy,
Oh, I love that.
and
Cheddar
extra
Jim-
virgin olive oil.
What is it? Cheto Gimenino.
Aceto di Modena.
Oh, I thought it was Gimenino. He's my publicist.
Okay, whatever you say.
I
And
like what? Oh, we haven't had these yet.
we haven't had. We
Where did you
eat.
get those cupcakes?
I got them in Jersey, at a bakery in Jersey. I can't remember.
They're beautiful.
They're autumnal.
Oh, they're very awesome.
They're
like the
I thought you
fall.
would enjoy this. It's
I
like
do.
chocolate and vanilla.
Oh, I love chocolate because I love chocolate.
I know you do.
I like vanilla, but chocolate's
Chocolate's
more my.
better. That's
it
more
is.
your thing.
Well, you know, when I used to sleep with my husband Paul, who was my photographer, he would say, "Can't you be more vanilla in bed?" And I'd say, "No, Paul, I like to spice it up by being a little bit more chocolate." So, and then I'd get out of bed and make a nice warm chocolate molten lava cake. And I would give it to him instead of a cigarette because he didn't smoke. So he would like a nice molten lava cake after we had sex, and it was marvelous. Then he had to clean his teeth later. I said, "You can't sleep with the chocolate in your teeth like that. It looks like you just ate shit." And I don't think that's appropriate to go to bed that way.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that's enough.
Wow. Oh my God. So that's. Listen, while we have your attention, we're gonna.
Oh,
Let's talk about our merchandise for What's the Story with Maria.
all right. I love that's a tote bag.
Tote bag. This is
Nice.
a tote
Look
bag.
how cute.
It is cute.
She never ages.
No, well, I do age, but and here I use Rodan Field skincare. That's right. And what does it say?
Hey, TBA.
All right, and then those are 10, as are the cups.
Oh, cups are great.
Cups are cute, right? And then go ahead, keep eating. Is on the back there. And on the mail, those are 10, and then for 25, the piece de resistance.
Oh, I like the apron, Maria.
I want you to wear it.
Oh, that's lovely.
Just
And
to
look, it
remind you-
matches, man. Yeah.
You look so cute in that apron.
Look.
All right.
Oh.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Keep eating. That is amazing. You look so cute in that.
Disappear.
That is really cute. I'm gonna have to get you.
I want one.
Listen, I'm gonna give you one. All right. I just
All right.
reordered some.
All right.
They're on their way, but I think I might give you that one.
So we were talking about the cameos. So I do this. My other income is cameos. Is that all right if we go on to that? Yeah.
Yes, but I want to tell you, my
What?
cousin Rena, she's in
Oh, she
Woburn.
liked the Julia.
Julia is killing me. I know. I can't, Rena, I'm with you. I can't breathe when he does Julia Child.
Well, when you have the food, you know, it's just.
Well, that's what it is. Okay, see, I just choked. People are like laughing.
Don't choke, Tamika.
All right, now. Okay, tell people about Cameos.
So
Okay.
Cameos is a celebrity service that I think a lot of you heard of it. Where you can.
I never
you
heard
can-
about it
you
before
can-
you.
You can hire a celebrity. It's become this big thing.
It's
you can
great.
hire a celebrity to do a happy anniversary, happy birthday. The only thing I don't do is like, can you promote my Instagram page? No. Will you do, shout out to all this corporate company? No.
Good for you.
It's like, you want me to do something like that? Talk to my publicist and pay me more. It's not a lot of money. You can make your own price. Mine's $100, and you only have to do 30 seconds, but I do like 2-3 minutes, and I get it.
I know you do.
They're really fun. They're really fun to do,
I'm gonna. Okay, let's say that my sister's birthday's coming up, and I want to hire you to do a cameo. How do I go about it? What do we do?
You go to cameo.com/Mario Cantone. Do it from the website. Don't do it from the app because it's $10 more, which is ridiculous. And I don't make that price. That's Apple doing that with their iOS. I'll give you an iOS, you motherfuckers.
Oh, wow.
Anyway,
Right.
They piss me off.
All right.
Apple, they piss me off.
He's very passionate, as they say, about these things.
And I have an iPhone. Okay, so there, I'm conflicted.
I know. Okay, so look.
It's like Bambi. I love Bambi, yet I ate Thumper. It's terrible.
I know. Let's not talk about
All right,
it.
anyway. So, yeah, there it is.
Leo.
Oh, Leo put it up.
Leo.
Yeah, so do it through the app, and like I do at least about 20 a week, which is nice. So they take a percentage, the Cameo.
Of course they do.
Oh, they do,
That's
and then Apple takes a percentage of the stuff off the web. So that's why I'm like, don't do it off the web. It's less for you, and then
All right. Okay. So let's say someone has a
And
birthday coming up. They get you. They hire you through that. And then how do they get it? You send it to
It's all through the website. You just do it,
Amazing.
and I just you do. I
And
just
you directly talk to the
Yeah,
person.
and I talk to them like they're there.
I know you
It's
do.
crazy,
I've seen your camera.
and I get into it, and I never thought I would. And like some guy just this past week, his wife is going through chemo, and it was her birthday, and like so that was a whole other thing.
Wow.
You just kind of wrap your head
Good for
around,
you,
and
honey.
it's really moving. And then they always will rate me and 5 stars. And 5 stars. I do. I get 5 stars every time.
You
It's
should
really nice.
get
I
5
hope.
stars.
Yeah,
Hold that energy you're putting into
and
there.
I do it on my roof deck with the Empire State Building behind me.
Wow.
But when winter
Well, they
comes,
get all
that's
of
not
that.
going to happen anymore.
You know, I realize that people are right. Our accents are coming through, right?
Yeah, but
Our
that's all.
Massachusetts accents.
Can you sing Judy for us? Who said that? Oh, Stephanie.
It's
Stephanie Greco. Hello, Stephanie. Look at you. I directed you in a play, didn't I, Stephanie Greco? Yes, she did.
Wait, Stephanie was Cha-Cha Di Gregorio.
Yes, she was in Greece.
In Greece, and you were Danny Zuko.
I directed myself. I was horrifying.
You were great, and I was Rizzo.
You were great. I was all right.
Listen.
I was good one performance. I remember it.
No, but you had to do everything, and then you danced with Stephanie as Cha-Cha.
I did. She lifted me up and did
That was
the
amazing.
thing. Yeah.
I wish we had a video of that. Does anybody have a video of that?
I don't think so.
Wow.
So you know what, Jean Valadosha, who I went to high school with, she has video of me in the carnival ball. Not video, but film of me in the carnival ball, doing my monologues, doing my stand up, and then dancing with Billy Globelt. And it's silent. So and it's those 8mm, they're a little sped up. It's hilarious. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I gotta tell you though, and people ask me this all the time. They go, "You know Mario?" And I said, "Like to me, you've always just been my friend, and I'm proud of you when I see you. But when I see you, I see my friend." But people always say instead of like, "Oh, there's that celebrity," but people always say to me, "Well, what was he like?" And I always say the same thing, Mario. I said, "From the second you met Mario, you knew he was going to make it. Why? Because you were driven. You were always
I
driven
know.
more than any other human being
was
I ever
very
met.
driven.
Actually, the only other person I know that reminds me of your drive is Judy Mason. She
does
something
incredibly well for herself.
because-
and she's so impressive.
because she
She's
sees
so
something,
impressive.
she sets goals,
And she
knows the steps to take to get there. And I have such respect.
And then she
for
treats
people like
herself well too, which I am even more impressed about. When you
I'm
when
not
you
so
do
good
so
like that.
well, I am.
that. You are.
I don't want. Let me tell you something. I had a lot of drive, and I know I definitely did. I had.
You're
a
the
lot
most
of drive.
driven person.
I
You
am
and Judy
so.
are the 2
I'm
most
not,
driven
not anymore.
people I know.
I'm
Why?
not driven anymore.
Why?
I lost my drive a long time ago.
You think?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It
Look,
doesn't look that way.
you get to a certain point. I mean, I'll go after stuff sometimes, and I still have to fight for shit. But I definitely am not half as driven as I used to be. It's like I got to a certain point, and then also being a gay man in the 80s and 90s
But that's
in
what I mean by drive.
mainstream
Can I just say
comedy
something?
rooms. These weren't like cabaret rooms.
No.
These were mainstream comedy rooms where someone would call you a
When
faggot.
Mario
from the
and
back
I
of the
were
room,
in high
2 in the
school,
morning.
it wasn't cool to be gay at all.
We
at
didn't care.
all. But you know what? And it took a lot of guts to just be who you were.
Yeah.
And you were the leader in that. You showed the rest of us, and everybody was always like, look at Mario, man. People loved you, Mario.
Yeah, I didn't get fag bashed too much in high school.
didn't.
In junior high school, you know what's interesting? In junior high school, like people, there was like a handful of guys that used to like torture, not physically because I would run. I would do like impressions and run. You know, you're a terrible boy. You're a boa. Don't you dare! And then I'd run, and they'd be like, "Where'd he go?" You know. So that's how I would. But they know I never got hit or hit because I would just dodge.
Well, they probably didn't know what to do.
They didn't know what to do. But I got bashed in junior high school. In high school, those same guys, especially one of them, became my protector.
I know.
And it was just, and he was
It
the
was
captain of the
amazing.
football team. He became our protector. So it all
loved
flipped
you.
over. There was a few people that still were a little goofy.
Yeah, but you know
But,
what?
you know,
the hell with them.
and I had Jim Romano, my teacher, who was like my therapist, my theater teacher.
People loved
I
you.
mean,
And
he
that's- But you
helped
know
me
why?
out.
Because you cared about yourself. You cared about it. And that's the thing I would tell like my students or anything, like, if you care about who you are and you own it, just walk through life and do your
That's
thing.
right.
And then people will look like fools that try to even pick on you. But you always had that. You set the bar very high for the rest of them.
Well, it happened. It was me. It was where I was. It was and look, if that school was going to be incredibly homophobic and bash me, it just would have been that way no matter what. It just kind of, they matched. I had Jim Romano, who was my teacher. I had Kathy
It was a
Chase.
great high school.
I had a great high school.
We went to a great high
We
school.
did, and you know, I couldn't be any other way. I mean, I didn't. You know, I remember. It was really like 12, 13 years old, junior high school, where I was kind of like, I told like one or two people, me and Michael Healy, who was one of my best friends from high school, that I told him in like 7th grade, and I was like, "You're gay too, dude."
Yeah.
And he was like, "No." I'm like, "Yeah, you're gay," and he is. And we were like best buddies, and we would walk down the hall, and we would bump. We would in between classes, we would bump like the hot guys we thought were hot, and then we'd get together at the end of the day. And how many times did you bump him?
No.
How many? And there would be like we compete. That
But
way.
nobody ever.
No one
gave
ever.
you a hard time.
No.
You were so loved. Everybody loved you, Mario. But I gotta say, it was like people always ask me, "What was he like?" He was driven.
I was
I'll tell
driven.
you,
I was.
Mario was driven, and he said you owned it, and I loved you for it. And you really, you said
I love
no,
you too.
and I'm so proud of you.
I love you
I'm
very
so proud
much.
of you.
Thank you. I love you very much.
Now, okay, so we're. Let me see. We have about 6
Oh
minutes
my God,
left. I
this
know
flew.
it always flies by.
I gotta smoke my man.
Now, would you ever write a book? Would you ever think about writing?
If they asked me, I could write a book about the way you walk and whisper and look. I would write a preface of... I don't know the rest of it. But anyway, there was a little Judy for you, Stephanie.
Listen, okay, so you got your Judy.
Even though I don't think she ever
Oh,
wrote
yeah,
that.
well,
I don't think she ever sang that song. Dinah Washington
Well, she
sang
did
that
now.
song. I
She did
that,
now.
yeah.
Of all the impressions that you do,
That one.
no, I was going to say, which is the one you're like, no, I'm never doing that again. Are
Oh,
there any?
No, there's not.
Okay, good for you.
I mean, I still do Tina. I still do.
I like Betty. I still like Betty.
Oh, and especially after the stroke is my favorite. Oh
right, too.
yes. Well, you know, I get many requests for cameos, and people say, "Betty, what do you have to say about getting older? It is my birthday, and I'm having a very hard time." And I will just say to them, old age is not for sissies. It really isn't.
There you go.
And I'm a sissy, and it's not for me.
It's not for no.
No, I don't like it. Ooh.
You don't like getting older.
Oh!
But you're
I'm like my mother that way. She didn't like age neither. My father
your
didn't
mother
either.
was tough as nails.
Woo!
Your mother was scared the shit out of
She scared the
everybody.
shit out of me every
Boy,
day.
she scared all of us.
Woo! She was a table tipper.
You know, she was a
She would
table
say,
tipper.
"Oh, this shit could be set, and if something set around,
She
boom!"
was a table
Oh yeah, lasagna all over the
Everyone
floor.
was afraid of your mom.
Oh yeah, she was scary.
But if she loved you,
Oh, she loved you. She was great. She
I
was.
loved your mom.
But you know, I'm such a combination of my mother and father because
I
I'm
love
so judgmental like my mother, and if I
But
don't
your
like you, I'm like,
dad
gah.
I
But
know.
my dad was the same way too. That way, if he loved you, if he didn't like you, he could be cold.
But you know what? I gotta say, I was lucky because I had a good relationship with both.
Oh, they loved you.
And
They
I
loved you.
love them so much. But you're right. If they didn't like you, but your mother used to scare the shit out of everybody. Do you know that I've told you this before, but I'll tell everybody, my meatball recipe
It's hers.
is Mario Cantone's
the
mom.
best.
I used to love to sit with Mario's mother. We both smoked cigarettes at the time. Mario's mom and I, because it was the late 70s, early 80s.
She used to sneak. Supposedly she quit at 50, and then
Yeah, but she bummed many a cigarette.
Oh God, yeah.
So
She
we used to
sniffed.
sit in the kitchen. She'd be in her like little zip-up duster, remember
Oh,
the
yeah.
little?
The terry cloth.
And she, yes, it was like teal.
Yeah.
And she would,
It was
remember,
teal.
right? It was teal.
It
little
was
embroidered
teal.
thing here.
Oh,
And she'd
my
be
God.
making the meatballs, and I said, what are you putting? And she used to put cheese,
Yeah.
bread. I mean, she really made it
Bread,
different
the
than my
wet bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't use
And
bread.
I
She used the stale
loved,
bread. Yeah.
I loved your
It's a
mother's
good recipe. It's a really good
And I
recipe.
used to love to sit in the kitchen and cook with her. I would not. She would do the cooking, but I would watch her.
I'd watch her too. She didn't encourage me to cook though. Like if she go play cards,
You're a great cook.
I love to cook. My Aunt Jo, her sister, who I love very, very much, she lived with us 6 months before my mother died when my mother was sick, and then stayed with us 6 months after. She used to make her sauce, her gravy, thicker.
Yeah, I make.
My
mine
mother
thicker,
made
too.
mine thin, made it very
My
thin
mother
because
did,
my
too.
mother liked it thin. That's very Sicilian. My father liked it thin, so my mother would make it thin. But when Joe stayed with us, she made her gravy thin for
But
my
your parents
father.
are both Sicilian, right?
No, my mother was from Naples. Napoli down. She was actually, her family's from Avellino, which is
That's my family.
You know what? You know what Avellino is? It's a it's a mentally ill mountain town atop of Naples. They're crazy.
I know.
They're crazy now.
Well,
So who's from Avellino? Both your mother and
both
father?
my parents. They're from-
That's why we look alike.
I know. I know.
That's
You
not an
look alike,
accident,
right?
It's not an accident.
No, it's not. But anyway,
Have you ever been to Avellino? I want to go.
yes, it's
Is it
very
pretty?
It's very. I haven't been. I was there when. Okay, let me see. Oh, 1 minute. Damn
All
it.
right.
Okay, Jimmy. All right, we have 1 minute. I want to thank my.
Wait, it's only 9:56.
I know, but we have to because they have to do commercials.
I don't want a commercial.
Mario Cantone, my
I don't
sweetheart
wanna-
from high school. He'll be back. He's my first.
And I am telling
We
you.
want to thank Jim Bell, he's our producer and engineer. We want to thank Armed Radio, they are the mother station. Please follow all our links. Thank you, Joe Rotz, for inviting me on 3 years ago. We appreciate you so much. Everybody, please check out Cameo. How do they find you again?
Cameo.com/Mario Cantone. So come
We
get
love
some.
and appreciate you. Say goodnight, Mario.
Good night. What happened to Dancing with the Stars? It's horrible now.
It's who I am. It's who I am. Who I am. It's fine with me. It's who I am.